Let me call the sixth speaker. The sixth speaker is Miss Miyu Sugiyama from Doshisha University. The title of her speech is No More Hardship, Much More Sharing. No more hardship, much more sharing. Miss Sugiyama, would you break a new world with your sword?
Sure. Thank you, Ms. Chairperson and distinguished judges. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Mom, why? Why is my father not at home? It's Sunday, isn't it? When I was a child, I said this to my mother. And I still remember my mother's apologetic face at the time. Not only did my father always leave the house early in the morning and come home late at night, but he was not at home even on weekends. What do you think my father's job is? Actually, my father is a junior high school teacher. Today, I'm standing here to put an end to toxic working conditions of teachers. Teaching is an indispensable occupation which supports future generations. So all of us have to think about this problem. Through my speech, I hope that all teachers will escape from hardship. And to achieve this goal, I need your help. Teachers' working time is often called 7-11 working, which means that they come into school at 7 a.m. and leave at 11 p.m. Actually, Japanese teachers work more than 11 hours a day on average in 2019, according to the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology. Compared to other foreign countries, Japanese teachers work much longer hours. Now, please remember your former teachers. Didn't they work hard until late at night? Teachers' overwork has two main harmful effects. Firstly, it casts a negative impact on their family life. My father couldn't play a big enough role with the housework and in the raising of me and my sister, because he had to spend all day at work, including Saturdays and Sundays. The more I tried to be a good teacher, the worse father I became. My father used to say. That is not unique to my family. A lot of teachers are deprived of the time with their families. Teachers' excessive work has a possibility to break their family. Isn't it terrible? I claim all teachers should not neglect their children, their closest students. Secondly, teachers' excessive work drives them into a corner, physically and mentally. According to Asahi newspaper, more than 60% of junior high school teachers already pass Karoshi line, the critical line for death by overwork, and 63 of them died in the past 10 years. Additionally, every year, more than 5,000 teachers took leave of absence due to mental illness. 4 years ago, my father also suffered from depression caused by overwork and took 3 months of leave of absence. Fortunately, he could return his work and he's still working as a teacher. However, even now, he has to see his doctor regularly. I do not want every teacher to undergo such hardship. So, why make Japanese teachers work such long hours? The biggest reason is club activities. According to a survey by the OECD, almost all junior high school and high school teachers read club activities, and the time spent leading club activities accounts for the third biggest percentage of the work time, following the time to teach a class and prepare for lessons. However, in reality, leading club activities is not a teacher's duty. You didn't know that, did you? If you believed that teachers read club activities as a part of their job, you are very much mistaken. Teachers do not necessarily lead club activities. Now, is there anything we can do for teachers? Yes, there is. That is, school volunteer. In almost all prefectures, the education committee recruits school volunteers to share teachers' work. And in these programs, we, university students, can support specific club activities. You can apply for it by downloading application form from the internet or by making a call to education committee. Not so difficult, right? Moreover, it's up to you to decide how many times you volunteer. So you can balance it with your part-time job or with your studying. Still, some may say that I'm just a university student, so I don't have the confidence to teach students, right? However, most of you have experiences of playing musical instrument or playing some sports as a club activities, haven't you? On the other hand, about half of teachers read club activities or don't have experience in a sport. Yes, our experiences and our coachings are really helpful for students. Why not take action to prevent teacher from further hardship? I have experience of being a school volunteer. On Saturdays, I went to the junior high school, which I had graduated from, and I taught the students how to play the mandolin, a musical instrument. While I was teaching, the teacher could hear paperwork. As a result, she was able to leave school much earlier than usual. She said to me, "Your once-a-week assistance helps me a lot. Now, I can spend time with my family." I was happy to hear that. Being a school volunteer is good, not only for teachers, but also for us. I realized that this volunteer activity improved my 3 important skills: logical thinking skills, marginal thinking skills, and communication skills, through my efforts to provide clear explanations about playing the mandolin. You know, these 3 skills are said to be essential, not only for job hunting, but also for living in society, right? There's no time to hesitate. I'm sure the volunteering work in schools is worth doing for your future. Teachers who get involved in education are indispensable to our society. Ladies and gentlemen, your help has the power to brighten teachers' future. Your help has the power to make a better society. Why not take action to share teachers' work? No more hardship. Much more sharing. Thank you.
Question and answer period. Miss Tsuruta, please.
Okay, thank you, Miss Sugiyama, for your nice speech. Okay, so my first question, how is your father doing?
Now my father is doing well because his new school there is a lot of volunteer workers about their club activities, so he's okay now. Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to be a junior high school or high school teacher yourself?
Actually, I don't want to be a teacher because I'd like to, but in the future and even now, I like to support there as a volunteer worker or like that. Yeah.
Okay. Does your father enjoy his job or is he happy with his job?
Yeah. Even though he had a heart condition, he said that teaching is a wonderful occupation and indispensable to our society. So he likes his job. So that is so tough things, I think. So the teachers likes their job, but their working condition is so hard and they have to suffer. So that is why I wrote this speech.
Okay. Now, first of all, you say that by having school volunteers, you can alleviate or lessen the work or the burden that the high school teachers or the junior high school teachers are having to do with the club activities. But you also said that club activities is not necessarily duties to be performed by teachers, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about the club activities themselves? Do you think that should be continued as part of school or not?
I I know that there is a merit of doing club activities in school because that is regardless their financial circumstances in their home, regardless of that, every student can have experience of playing sports or musical instrument. So that is a good, but I don't think their club activities I don't think the club activity should be held as a part of the school work because almost in all foreign countries, they have it as a club activities by their own.
Okay, but now what you're suggesting is that you're shifting the club activities overseeing role to a non-paid job. So you're saying that club activities should be an unpaid work done by volunteers in order to lessen or alleviate the burden on the teachers. If I am a parent of a high school student, and if suddenly the high school teacher said that, no, I'm not going to do this club activity, but let the volunteers do it, I might not like that. And also, I feel that that should be a paid work to have those club activities. What would you say to that? If I'm a parent, I think those are the opinions that I would voice to the school.
Okay, so I know that some parents worry about their doing club activities by their volunteer workers, like
Right.
students or like that.
Mhm.
But so when it comes to volunteer work, as a first step, the volunteer workers have a meeting or something like that to protect their safety or like that. And also, so if volunteer worker is not enough, it is better to move on there some kinds of outside the community, like they're specialists who lead club activities as a job or like that. So what I want to say is that teachers do not have to lead club activities.
Okay. I can go on with my questions, but unfortunately time is up. So thank you so much, Ms. Sugiyama. This is the end of the Q&A. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ruta and Ms. Sugiyama. Now it's judging time.
Let me call the seventh speaker. The seventh speaker is Mr. Yuki Kajino from Keio University. The title of his speech is Living in a Low Context. Living in a Low Context. Mr. Kajino, would you break a new word with your sword?
Sure. Okay. Thank you, massive ceremony and distinguished judges. Good afternoon, everyone. Last year, while I was working in New Paradigm Cram School, something happened. My boss, who always behaves arrogantly, bluntly said to me, "Do that job appropriately." I didn't fully give my boss instruction and ask a detail. Yet, he answered my question in anger. "Now that you are not a child, get it without my word." So next time, when he assigned me another work, I decided for myself and then ended up acting on it. and he said, "Why didn't you talk to me about it sooner?" He was contracting himself. Everyone, have you ever experienced this miscommunication? Japanese people prefer giving vague instructions, which results in miscommunication. Apart from this, it becomes even more serious for people from different cultures and people who have development disability. Today, I'm going to talk about the importance of articulating your intention clearly in business settings so that we can enjoy smooth communication. As we know, Japanese people often regard reading between the lines as a virtue. When we give instructions, we say them indirectly rather than directly. I guess you may have trouble with this type of vague instructions. As a phrase, reading between the lines suggests having successful communication is largely up to the receiver's interpretation in Japan. However, it's not always better. Since business is built on cooperation with many people, it's usual to be assigned a task or vice versa. If instructions are unclear, the accuracy of the work will deteriorate. It becomes even more serious when it comes to directing people with developmental disability or people from foreign countries. I confess that I'm suffering from developmental disability and tend to misinterpret other intention. For a long time, I had a hunch that I was somewhat different. I was accused of not understanding other intention. Eventually, I was diagnosed with ADHD and partly Aspen syndrome when I was 18. Even though I tried to take my work seriously, I was often scolded, which made me disheartened. Moreover, Hideo Honda, a psychiatrist, says it is estimated 1 out of 10 people has a developmental disability in Japan. Plus, even if a person has the same developmental disability, while it can be tolerated in other countries, in Japan, it can be seen as a problem due to reading between the line cultures. You may think it's particularly pungent for people suffering from this, and it's normal business. However, many of you should have felt puzzled by vague instructions on working with someone as well. Also, vague instructions are harder to convey between people from different countries. In fact, people from other countries are often confused by these instructions according to the Asahi Shimbun research. Let me choose my friend's case. She is from the United States and has a developmental disability. Despite her high work ability, she says the culture in Japan hinders her from demonstrating her ability. Then, why do we prefer giving such vague instructions? I found the answer in a social linguistics class. The underlying cause is a culture that exists in Japan. Edward Hall, an American cultural anthropologist, has proposed concepts of high-context cultures and low-context cultures. To put it simply, the high-context culture rely on implicit communication and nonverbal cues, while the low-context culture rely on explicit communication. According to Ippei Inoue, a social linguist, Japan has a high-context culture, but the global standards are the low-context cultures. Of course, the high-context culture have demerits in daily conversations. In the high-context cultures, where speakers are supposed to have the same value, it's easier to express what you want to say with minimal conversations. However, when working together, low-context conversations are imperative to everyone to prevent your further miscommunication. Again, it should be emphasized that the global standards are the low-context cultures. If we give instructions to foreigners as usual, they frequently do not fully get them. Besides, if we are in a foreign country and continue to speak vaguely like in Japan, it's not uncommon to be said, "What are you trying to say?" by the local people. So here is a lesson that I learned. Living in a low context. The high context conversations are not necessarily panaceas. In order for you to communicate, the first step is to realize these differences in communication styles and use them properly like your own sword. As for me, I told my boss about my disability, and he became more concerned about me. Now, he documents his instructions for me. Thanks to his help, my mistakes have been drastically reduced. Then, how to live in a low context? My suggestion is PrEP method that is probably used in making your speech. The word PrEP stands for point, reason, example, and point again. This is a way of developing a story that first is a conclusion, then explains why, reinforces a reason example, and finally repeats the conclusion. This PrEP method makes your instructions or presentation clear, logical, and positive. In addition to this, with this PrEP method, you can create documents that are crystal clear. With the globalization, the shift from high context to the long context has already begun worldwide. Actually, in Japan, 優しい日本語 low contextual Japanese is being widely introduced on signs or websites for tourists or foreign residents. I strongly believe living in a low context benefits society as a whole, particularly for foreign people and people with developmental disability like me. I hope this speech becomes your opportunity to consider articulating your intentions clearly. Thank you.
Question and answer period. Mr. Da, please.
Okay, Mr. Kajino, thank you for your nice speech. First of
Thank you.
all, out of curiosity, I just wanted to ask, are you an English education major by any chance?
Yeah, my major is English linguistics, and I belong to seminar of English linguistics
Okay.
in my university.
Okay, that well answers why you wanted to talk about Edward Hall, maybe. And
Yeah, right.
okay, and another person that you bring up here is Mr. Inoue. And well, my understanding is that Edward Hall is a person who proposed low context and high context culture, and not Mr. Inoue. Why did you want to bring up Mr. Ippei Inoue in your speech? He's a social linguist.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, like low context culture and high context cultures are like field of social linguistics.
Sure.
And my seminar professor is Ippei Inoue in Keio University. So writing my speech, before writing my speech, I told about like concepts of high context culture and low context culture to him, and he gives me some advice for my speech. That's why I quote his comments in my speech.
And can you explain what do you mean by contextual bilingual? Contextual bilingual.
Yeah. Contextual bilingual means like yeah, of course, like English and Japanese. We say in the globalized society, we should distinguish between English and Japanese. Like this, we should distinguish between high context to low context, whether it's in business or not in the globalized society. So it means, so this is kind of bilingual contextual.
And you propose also the usage of easy Japanese as part of the solution. And you also propose use of the PrEP method. How are those different? And which do you think is meaningful? Or do we need both?
I mean, living in law context include 優しい日本語, easy Japanese. And like, it's 優しい日本語 is kind of example of one of the examples of law context culture, which is introduced in Japan.
Okay, but
Right.
yes. So in the what you're saying, I understand that Japan is becoming more globalized because more foreigners are coming to Japan. That I do understand. But you also say that we should use this prep method. How can we use this prep method when talking to foreigners? Or is this when we are talking amongst Japanese that you propose that you use this prep method?
I think it should be used in working with together. Even if it's Japanese, because according to the Asahi Shimbun, like living in like Japanese high context culture interrupt successful communication, even between Japanese people. So actually, there's like world proliferation of law context-wise contracts that are long and free of any ambiguity. So that's why we should use living in a law context, even between people from Japan.
Okay, so this is very interesting discussion, and I'd like to go on, but unfortunately, time is up. So thank you so much, Mr. Kajima.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Tsuruta and Mr. Kajino. Now it's judging time.
Let me call the eighth speaker. The eighth speaker is Miss Saki Yukawa from Takasaki City University of Economics. The title of her speech is Visualize Your Goodwill. Visualize Your Goodwill. Miss Yukawa, would you break a new world with your sword?
Sure. Thank you, Masters of Ceremonies and distinguished judges. Good afternoon, everyone. One day, I was struck with uncontrollable anger and sadness by one article on SNS. It was about the harassment that a pregnant woman had experienced on the train. She was about to sit down, but then a man in his 50s took the seat. She had to keep standing. I couldn't read this article as someone else's story because I remembered that my mother had 2 miscarriages before I was born. When she told me about it, she looked really sad. If she hadn't had miscarriages, I might have had older brothers or sisters that I wish they had now. This memory made me sincerely hope that the woman in the article wouldn't have a miscarriage. Pregnant women are supposed to be protected and live without worries and stresses in society. In reality, however, they live having a lot of risks. I feel this present situation is totally wrong. Imagine the future where your partner, friend, or family member is pregnant and lives a painful life. I don't want that future. And I believe you don't want it either. We all need to change the current situation to avoid such a future. So today, I would like to talk about what we can do to help pregnant women. I hope my speech can help realize a society where they can live their lives in peace. When a pregnant woman keeps standing, she's subjected to various risks. Keeping standing can cause a uterine contraction, make her lose balance and fall, or lead to poor blood circulation, which makes the lower half of the body get cold. All these can cause premature delivery, threaten premature labor, or a miscarriage. Also, they may have adverse influences on the fetus. To help avoid such risks, the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare established maternity mark in 2006. When pregnant women use public transportations, they can wear a tag this mark, which encourages people around them to be considerate. However, maternity mark is not working well now. About half of pregnant women do not use it, although they know they can. One of the reasons is shown in the result of the survey conducted by Econte Company Limited. About 1 out of 10 pregnant women have felt uncomfortable or even fear for their physical safety because they were wearing a maternity mark. So they've stopped wearing it. Another reason that a lot of pregnant women know they can't have their seats even when wearing the mark anyway. Why do pregnant women have to give up taking a seat? Now, let me ask a question. Have you ever given them your seat? Actually, in a questionnaire by players, more than 60% of the respondents answered they couldn't. Two main reasons were: 1, they didn't see maternity mark, and 2, they hesitated to talk to her. In contrast, in the survey by Econte, about 70% answered they wanted to support pregnant women if they did notice maternity mark. Thus, quite a few people cannot help pregnant women even though they want to. Now, how can we fill the gap between people's goodwill and their actions? Let me introduce one mark that people can wear for pregnant women. Last December, Mr. Shino Yusuke, an office worker, created a tag that read, "I'll give my seat," with a maternity mark pictogram. This is what it looks like. This tag came with its wish that 1, pregnant women can talk to a person wearing it, and 2, people who want to give their seat can do so. I empathized with this thought and purchased the tag. Furthermore, I contacted them to suggest an "I'll help you" tag. I thought this way, people would be able to offer not only their seats, but also more various helps to pregnant women. Mr. Shin answered that he had also had the same idea, but judged that showing a specific solution would be better. Also, the tag has a role of visualizing kindness. He believes that when it has spread in society, it will eventually turn to the mark that helps pregnant women widely, not just confined to seats. I can't agree more with these ideas, but only if there are few people like him and me, society cannot be changed, and many pregnant women cannot be saved. So I'd like to share 2 ways we can do to change the situation. First, purchase the mark and wear it. You can buy a tag on the website of I'll Keep My Seat mark. Seki yuzurimasu in Japanese. Please try accessing it on your PC, smartphone, or tablet during the judges' conference time later. When you get the tag, wear it whenever you go out. Second, take advantage of social media and make the mark spread in society. One way is to follow the official account of the mark and retweet their posts. Another way is to post messages with the hashtag I'll give my seat on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. People who read your posts can learn about the mark. Ladies and gentlemen, today I shared several ways you can do to help pregnant women. If each one of us takes action, we can surely help them. The more people buy this I give my seat mark, wear it, and make it spread, the more people can help and save pregnant women. Whether they wear a maternity mark or not, they can live their social life in peace. One day, I read an article on SNS. It was about what one pregnant woman experienced on the train. While she was standing, she noticed one person wearing "I'll give my seat" tag. She asked the person to give her the seat. The person immediately stood up and let her sit down. She was seated at ease and felt a goodwill with the person. That person must be the future you. Thank you.
Question and answer period. Miss Tsuruta, please.
Hey, thank you, Ms. Yukawa, for your nice speech. Again, I'd like to ask you, why did you want to talk about this topic? You could have chosen any kind of a topic, but why
Okay.
this one?
Okay. In this society, there are various social problems, and they are often covered by mass media. However, although pregnant women are ones of the socially vulnerable and they are always at risk of a miscarriage, this fact is not often mentioned. So I wanted to raise this issue and introduce one of the solutions in my speech.
Okay. Now, you told us about your mother, that she had 2 miscarriages before she had you, and I felt very sorry. In fact, yes, I have 2 children of my own, and I also have a granddaughter. So I think I can understand the issues that pregnant women face. And I had helped recently a young mother with a young child who had a baby in a carriage get off the train when she had to get off because nobody else was helping her. So I understand your point, but what do you think needs to be done? Well, for example, do you wear this tag that you had talked about?
Oh, my experience?
Well, you mentioned 2 tags. One by the government, started in 2006, and the other one that was started out more recently by Mr. Yusuke Shino in 2019, December. So do you have both the tags yourself, or what do you do?
Oh, so I still not. I'm still not pregnant. So maternity mark is for maternity mark is maternity mark wears maternity mark is weared by pregnant women.
Yeah.
So yes. So but on the other hand, I wear the I give my seat mark, as I said in my speech. Yes, on public transportations. Yes, always.
Okay.
My
Okay, great. Have you ever seen a pregnant woman wear this tag created by the government in 2006, maternity mark?
yeah,
to
maternity mark.
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I don't think I've seen one because I ride train pretty regularly, and I commute using train, but I don't think I've seen anybody. So as you said, maybe it is not so well known.
Okay, so yes, I've seen the pregnant women wearing the maternity mark, and yeah, but yes, as I said in my speech, maternity mark is not often is not working well now in the society. So yes, I want everyone to wear this mark, and yes, more and more people. I want more and more people to help pregnant women by wearing this mark.
Okay. And how can we raise the awareness of the society other than what you just proposed? Are there any other things that we can do?
Or other solutions?
Mhm.
Oh yes, yes. Actually, yes. I thought that, for example, I'll I'll carry your luggage mark is also good for pregnant women, but actually there's no good solutions in my research, and this is why pregnant women have to suffer in this society. So I think that one of the national characters of Japanese people is collectivism, and it is difficult for others, for one to do something different different from others. So yes, I think that if it will be best if everyone changes to be able to take it for granted that they give their seats to pregnant women in the future. Yes, it is also help pregnant women. I
Okay,
think.
thank you very much. I know that the time is up, so thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
compassionate speech. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Tsuruta and Miss Yukawa. Now it's judging time.
Let me call the ninth speaker. The ninth speaker is Mr. Shohei Hida from Aoyama Gakuin University. The title of his speech is Lovely Dream. Lovely Dream. Mr. Hida, would you break a new word with your sword?
Sure. Okay. Thank you, Masters of Ceremony and distinguished judges. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What is your dream? My dream is to become a politician. And usually I get these 3 reply variations. Is someone in your family a politician? Do you major in politics or law? Are you studying at the University of Tokyo? No. What? Then you can never become a politician. It's best for you to give up your dream. Unfortunately, these kinds of conversations about my dream are very predictable. Yet, why does it feel as if I get hit by a bus every single time someone puts me down? In this modern world, we can say that 2 types of people exist. The dream boosters, who support others' dreams, and the dream killers, who proceed to destroy others' dreams. And sadly, many people subconsciously turn themselves into dream killers, letting others down. Are you one of them? Or are you one of the victims of the dream killers out there? On that note, I am speaking on this stage today to tell you how to become a dream booster rather than dream killer. I hope that my voice will inspire everyone to start creating a world where we can boost other people's dreams. First of all, how many of you have been denied by others about your dreams or endeavors in life? Through my original questionnaire, only 12 out of 426 people answered that their dreams have never been denied. A lot lower than I had expected. This means that the 414 others and their dreams had been crushed before. I know words of discouragement are not the only reason for people to give up their dreams. But all in all, those words might just be enough to kill someone's dreams. According to the American sociologist Robert K. Martin's idea of self-fulfilling prophecy, if people tell you it's impossible, you will come to think it's impossible. For example, Wright brothers had a strong heart so that they could fly in the sky, even though they were criticized by people. But not everyone has a strong heart like superhero, right? Chasing the dream seems full of hope, but in fact, it's fragile and breaks easily. Back in middle school, my friend Ken told me about his dream, saying that he wanted to be an architect. But I immediately replied, no way, your Earth grade is 2 out of 5. You can't do that. A few days later, he came to me and said, you know what? You were right. I'm not suited for an architect. I'll find another dream. At the moment, my heart sank and heavy sons of regret weighed on my shoulders. I said that half jokingly, but the collection of words had shattered his dream, and without knowing it, I had become a dream killer. But why do we continue to become dream killers? Isn't that because of our kindness or jealousy? Isn't that because we can't imagine them achieving their dreams? The bottom of these emotions is that we don't want others to change. We don't want them to go to a place where we can't imagine, right? In my case, those who denied my dream talk like, it's too difficult for you, or you need to face the reality. Because they thought I should take the track that they took and believe it's the very happiness that I have to seize. But those words just limit our possibilities and take away our hopes for the future. So we have to accept other dreams and encourage them. Instead of denying their dreams, just tell them the dreams are great, wonderful, and lovely. These are just words, but that's enough to encourage them to pursue their dreams. Let's practice it right now. After I say my dream, please say lovely dream to me. Ready? My dream is to be a politician. Well, thank you. You just became a dream booster. I feel so much confidence thanks to your words. The more dream boosters increase, the more people will be supported. The more people will be supported, the more this world will be better. But still, some of you may want to say, giving realistic opinions instead of sugar talk is good for the person. Or, I'm worried about their future. Yes, you are right. And I was also the person who gave realistic opinions to my friend Cam. But please think about it. Your friend talked about their dream to you with courage. Then, what do you think they will feel if you deny their dream at first? They will definitely be sad. So, firstly, you should accept their dream. You can give them advice or some constructive criticisms after accepting their dreams. This January, I had a coming of age ceremony. At the school reunion, one of my friends, Ray, approached me and said, "Hey Shohei, I'm chasing my dream to be a flight attendant." I exclaimed with a big smile. What a lovely dream! We talked about dreams and motivated each other. So, which will you choose? To become a dream boosters or a dream killer. Both encouragements and discouragements are merely a collection of words, but they have the power to sway people's lives. Actually, I'm still chasing my dream to be a politician. And now, thanks to all the dream boosters nearby, I do an internship at a politician's office. Please remember, no matter how difficult your dream is, your dream is great, wonderful, and lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, what is a dream? Lovely dream. Thank you for listening.
Question and answer period. Miss Tsuruta, please.
Okay, thank you, Shohei-san, Hida-san.
So,
Well, you are very passionate when you're talking about your dream. So I'm very curious. Why do you want to be a politician in the first place? I heard many students, or I don't think I have any student, although I teach for a long time. I had many students, but I don't think I had anyone who said that I want to be a politician. So I'm curious why.
Actually, I have many reasons to wanted to be a politician, but simply I love Japan. Japan raised me up, and I wanted to pay back to this country. That's biggest reason.
Okay, love for your country. That's great. Okay, so do you have any idea about what kind of a politician you would like to be?
Yes, I do. I want to be the politician who can. I want to focusing on the education system.
Okay.
Especially for, of course, elementary, junior high, and high school.
Okay. Do you have any model in your mind as a type of politician? For example, we had a LDP leadership election very recently. So do you want to be like Mr. Suga or Mr. Kishida or Mr. Ishiba, for example?
My role model is already passed away, but my role model is Kakue Tanaka, even though he had a problem about
lucky scandal, so on and so forth.
Yes.
Okay. But what is it that Tanaka Kakue attracts you as a politician? What is it?
His integrity and passion, because he, as many of you know, he just graduated elementary school.
Sure.
And he tried and tried and tried. Then he became politician, and he served for our Japan citizens, not for himself. So that's the point what I like for him.
Okay. And now, do you think that you're a dream booster now yourself?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay. And people around you, are they still dream killers, or did you have enough dream boosters like yourself?
Around me, I can see many dream boosters because, as you know, they know that I am doing a speech about dreams.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, so I'm just out of curiosity, what kind of dreams do people around you have? Do they also want to be politicians?
No, I have never met a person who wants to be a politician. But for example, some of my friends want to be, of course, teacher.
Sure.
Some of them want to be a rich man.
Oh, to be
some
rich?
of them want to be writers. Yes.
Okay. Yes, so very interesting. So I hope that you attain your dream to become a politician. And if I may ask, which politician are you now serving as an internship? If I may ask, I know it's a private question, so if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But I'm just curious.
I can answer. His name is Norihiro Nakayama. Norihiro Nakayama. Yes, Nakayama.
Nakayama Norihiro.
Yes.
Is he related to your school, Aoyama Gakuin, or
no? Actually, he graduated from Aoyama Aogaku, but there's no connection about the school.
Okay, and no party affiliation or any connection to a political party?
He does. He is a member of Jiminto.
Okay, LVP.
Yes.
Okay, great. It's very interesting discussion, but unfortunately our time is up. So thank you so much, Mr. Hira. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Tsuruta and Mr. Hida. Now it's judging time.
Let me call the last speaker of this contest. The last speaker is Miss Lisa Takagi from Tokyo Women's Christian University. The title of her speech is Voice Up. Voice Up. Miss Takagi, would you break a new world with your sword?
Sure. Thank you, Master of Ceremonies and Honorable Judges. Good afternoon, everyone. Look back on yourself when you talk with someone. Are there any topics that you don't try to speak about? For example, age, appearance. Please, I want you to perceive that our conversation lacks in unspoken rule. This is what we call taboo, like you know who in Harry Potter. If you talk about a taboo, it must be scary or embarrassing. So how about menstruation? Can you talk about it? Almost all people associate talking about menstruation with sexuality so much that we hesitate to speak up. If menstruation is not hidden, we feel embarrassed. This is because we share tacit understanding that we do not speak up. However, I'm sure talking about menstruation will ease the hardness of life for us all. Thrown away such thinking that menstruation is only for women needed. If we do so, we will no longer encounter awkward situations. So today, I am standing here to change your viewpoint about menstruation. It's embarrassing to talk about, but honestly, I thought menstruation was femininity, attractive man. When my mother cooked red rice to celebrate the first menstruation, I got angry. Mom, why are you cooking? I am so embarrassed. I don't want my father man to know about it. While eating with my father and brother was silence. It made me feel worse. My heart was filled with shame. Why do I feel uncomfortable when the topic is menstruation? Why do we feel embarrassed when someone starts to talk about it? I underwent conflict in my mind because my father and brother, my family, so there is no secret among us. But there is man, not women. We thought just only you can understand the pain of menstruation because women menstruate. However, one news inspired me to think about it, and I'm sure this will also change your mind. On Saturday, 6 June 2020, I saw the news title saying, J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter fan site rejects also trans comments. She quoted another article that said, girl, women, gender non-binary person menstruate. Against this statement, she tweeted, people who menstruate, I'm sure there used to be a word for those people. Someone help me out. Woman, weapon, umpant. Unfortunately, this tweet got her Twitter framing. The main reason why this tweet triggered many criticism was she could only accept the light of women and girls when menstruate. Consequently, this tweet with lack of consideration for variety of identities and is simply out of date. This matter made me realize our thought that menstruation is only for women and we shouldn't speak up in public. Please suppose the binary opposition between women and men. I couldn't get out of the feminine. So why do we hesitate to speak about menstruation? One is sexual image towards menstruation. So I was afraid of that others recognize me as women if I said. And we are afraid of what others think. So I want to change this image. For that, I have one suggestion. Let's reconsider the meaning of sex. When you say the single word sex, it covers a lot of meaning and it is complicated and vague. According to the Ministry of Justice, the meaning of sex can be classified into 4 factors. The first is biological sex, that is also assigned sex. When we were born, doctor decided this. The second is gender identities. This is more subjective and does not separate in men or women. The third is gender expression. For example, clothing, hairstyle, makeup, such as masculine, feminine, androgynous. The last one is sexual orientation, which means who a person is attracted to. Namely, we play a role while combining these 4 factors. So understanding the meaning of sex tells us who I am, who you are, doesn't come from just only biological sex. So I thought that menstruation is taboo because of sexual image. It's wrong. So I don't want you to be afraid of talking about it. And I'm sure the light understanding gave you a weapon called voice. The light understanding gave us normal conversation. In office and school, you can say, I need more rest due to my period, without hesitation. And you can say, are you all right? Have a good rest, without hesitation. We can talk about menstruation as usual. Only our voice can change our future. Thank you.
Question and answer period. Ms. Tsuruta, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kagi. And I must say that you're very brave to talk about taboo because I think it's not very easy for anybody to stand up in front of an audience and talk about a taboo topic. So why did you like to talk about this issue of menstruation?
Because I think in Japan, in all over the world, there are many people who have problem not talk about menstruation because not talking about menstruation, sometimes we feel stressful. So just talking will ease their harness for us all. So talking is needed, I think.
Well, but if you ask my opinion, for example, I think I would feel more stress talking about a taboo because by definition, taboo is something that the society does not choose to put in places that are public. You know, these things are privately kept to ourselves. So what would you say to those people who say that, why bring this up? It's better to keep things private.
Yeah, I know, but how can I say, in office, I know they are some system for women who have menstruate. Because however, the woman does not use this system. So how can I say this is meaningless?
Okay.
So just yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I know because I worked in an office and I did take those menstruation leaves. It's called
Yeah, yeah,
menstruation leaves. But do you also know that in other countries, for example, in the United States, where I also worked, they don't have this menstruation leave. And I believe, if I understand correctly, Japan and Indonesia are only two countries that have menstruation leave for office workers. I don't know why, but it seems that maybe United States women are more strong, or I don't know. In Europe, people choose not to put it as part of the labor standards or taking leave for this purpose. But so I do understand that there is an issue about women not wanting to make this public. So it's difficult for women to take menstruation leaves. But aren't there anything else that we can do in this society to change the way that people view menstruation?
I think for example, I think mass media I think also play a role. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that you can have an awareness campaign on this issue. What would you say to mass media if somebody says that they are willing to sponsor you to give an awareness raising campaign? What would you say to the society on this topic?
Okay. I think how can I say? Regardless of women or men, we always face the awkward situation once the menstruation is topic. So how can I say, to stop this bad cycle? We should speak it up in public to save those people who have problem about menstruation.
Okay, I can go on and on, but I'm afraid the time is up. So thank you so much, Ms. Takagi. Okay,
you.
this concludes my Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tsuruta and Ms. Takagi. Now it's judging time.